The Canadian dollar is strengthening in the middle of the trading week after the Bank of Canada, BOC, raised interest rates. The central bank had been long expected that the institution would be hiking rates to curb greater inflationary pressures. Could the loonie generate some momentum moving forward? Officials on the Governing Council increased the target overnight rate by 25 basis points to 0.5%. This was the first rate hike since October 2018. The BOC stated that it will employ every monetary policy tool to ensure inflation falls back down to the 2% target. This will include moving forward with reinvestment, but the central bank noted that it would keep government bond holdings on the balance sheet until policymakers think it is safe to unwind its assets. Looking ahead, the institution anticipated additional rate hikes amid elevated inflation pressures. At the same time, the BOC acknowledged that the Ukraine crisis is the latest source of uncertainty. On the economic front, the gross domestic product advanced 1.6% in the fourth quarter, up from 1.3% in the previous three-month period. On an annualized basis, the GDP growth rate came in at 6.7%. But the month-over-month GDP reading was flat at 0%. The IHS Markit Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, edged up to 56.6 in February, up from 56.2 in January. Markets were taken aback by the ADP data that showed the Canadian economy lost 301,000 private sector jobs. April West Texas Intermediate, WTI, crude oil futures advanced $6.23, or 6.02%, to $109.64 per barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange. April natural gas futures surged $0.155, or 3.37%, to $4.753 per million British thermal units, BTU. Since Canada maintains a current account deficit, it relies on exports for economic growth. Because oil and gas remain the country's top shipments, any significant price change can impact the economy and loonie. The Canadian bond market was mostly in the green in the middle of the trading week, with the benchmark 10-year yield up 0.091% to 1.803%. The one-year bill was unchanged at 1.25%, while the 30-year bond rose 0.049% to 2.038%. The USD-CAD currency pair tumbled 0.84% to 1.2637. From an opening of 1.2742, at 18:05 Greenwich Mean Time on Wednesday. The Euro-CAD dropped 0.8% to 1.4062, from an opening of 1.4176.